and welcome back to Living on the Spectrum 17. Today we're going to be doing a top 10. I've done top 10 before on my channel when I did top 10 roller coasters in the UK. Today I'm actually going to be doing top 10 roller coasters in the UK, but top 10 soundtracks. So it's going to be my top 10 ride soundtracks. Ride soundtracks is basically like the theme song of the ride, the score, and what makes the ride a ride. Like onboard audio, such as stuff like that. So this is going to be my top 10 soundtracks or scores from roller coasters in the UK. Starting off with number 10, Wicker Man at Alton Towers. I love Wicker Man at Alton Towers. It's a really, really good soundtrack. Especially the pre-show is amazing. And it's really good. I'm actually going to put a little snippet now of the music. And then I'll tell you more about Wicker Man. So let me put a little snippet in. A little snippet that you guys heard from the Wicker Man soundtrack or score, and both same things. People call it a soundtrack, always call it a score. And the score is basically, it's the two same things, but yeah, it is a really good soundtrack. I do love Wicker Man the ride. It's a really good wooden coaster, and it really goes really fast as well. And then you have the whole pre-show with the Wicker Man and the horns. It's a really good actually ride. I really do like that ride, and that's why that soundtrack for that, the Wicker Man soundtrack, has made my number 10 spot in my top 10 roller coaster soundtracks in the UK. Wicker Man, that made my number 10 spot in my top 10 roller coaster soundtracks list. Now it's time for my number 9 spot, and my number 9 spot for my top 10 roller coaster soundtrack list is Colossus at Thorpe Park. Colossus at Thorpe Park is a really cool roller coaster. It's really cool. I really do like that ride. I was actually there the other day. I was there the other day. The video is going to be coming out soon for day 1 and day 2 of that. So stay tuned for that video coming up, day 2 and day 1, and the hotel vlog, as the Nemesis Inferno cabins. But anyway, back to Colossus. Colossus is a really good ride. Really do like that ride, and that's why number 9 for Colossus is my favourite soundtrack, which will fit the number 9 spot. But like I said, stay tuned. There's 2-day vlogs coming from Thorpe Park, so stay tuned for that. On to my number 9th spot. That was 9th spot. Now it's on to my number 8th spot. So let's go to number 8. That was number 9, which was Colossus. I'm going to put a little snippet in for you. So now for you. And then after the snippet is on to my number 8th spot. And my number 8th spot is 13 at Alton Towers. was a little snippet of Colossus soundtrack, and that's why it made my number 9 spot. Like I said, it's number 8, which is 13 at Alton Towers. 13 is an intimate, multi-dimensional coaster, and it's a really, really cool coaster. You go through the woods, and then you have a drop track and it drops. It's an amazing coaster. The theming of it is good. It counts back as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's a really good soundtrack when it does that. And it's like, didn't, didn't, didn't. Yeah. I put a little snippet in for you now, and I'll tell you more about 13. Snippet that you heard from 13. Yeah, 13 is a really good coaster. Like I said, intimate multi-dimensional coaster. It's really good actually. Really good. Intimate multi-dimensional might be coming to Chessington. That'll be a separate video. I could talk about the new land in Chessington. That'll be a video that I'm going to be filming in the future. But yeah, that was my number 8 spot, which was 13. And for my number 7 spot, which is going to be Icon at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. So again, I'm going to put a little snippet of the audio in for you guys. And then I'll tell you all about why Icon is one of my favourite soundtracks from Blackpool Pleasure Beach in my top 10 roller coaster soundtracks in the UK list. Soundtrack you heard that I just put in just now was Icon, which was my number 7 spot from Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Icon is really cool. It's a launch coaster. It's actually two launches. I can't remember. I haven't been there for ages. I think it's 2 launches. But it's a really good ride. I actually tried Enzo last year, which is a spinning car. Not last year, the year before. I can't remember the last time I went. But I did Enzo. It's an upcharge attraction, about £5 to £6, kind of like that. But it is a really good soundtrack, and that's why I made my number 7 spot. Now it's time for my number 6th spot. And my number 6th spot is going to be Nemesis Inferno at Thorpe Park. And so yes, Nemesis Inferno, which made my number 6th spot. I'm going to put a snippet of the Nemesis Inferno audio for you, which actually stayed at that cabin. I actually stayed in the Nemesis cabin last week. I got a 2-day vlog coming in the future. 2-day vlogs coming in the future, and I also got a hotel of me staying in the Nemesis Inferno cabins. So stay tuned and keep an eye on that. And back to Nemesis Inferno. I'm going to talk about the ride after you listen to the soundtrack. So hit the soundtrack. As you guys heard, that was the Nemesis Inferno soundtrack. It's actually quite a really good ride. It's like it hangs and it whips you around. It's a little bit like Nemesis Reborn, but not as smooth. Nemesis Reborn is my favourite, better. But I do like Nemesis Inferno. So yeah, like I said, that was the Nemesis Inferno soundtrack. On to my number onto my number 5th spot. And my number 5th spot is going to be the big one at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Now I'm going to talk about the former coaster that used to be the biggest in the world. That's not the biggest in the world now. The biggest in the UK now is Hyperia. Stay tuned, that's coming later in the video. You never know what number that's going to be. Any guesses what Hyperia number is actually going to be later in the video? Any guesses of what number that's going to be? Make your guesses now. But yeah, go back to the big one at Blackpool. Blackpool Pleasure Beach at Blackpool Pleasure Beach in Blackpool, which is the big one, which is one of my favourite soundtracks. It's really good. Like I said, it used to be the former UK's biggest coaster. I'm going to put the soundtrack in now, a little snippet. So yeah, let's play the big one, soundtrack from Blackpool Pleasure Beach. My number 5th spot, which was the big one at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. I really do like the soundtrack as you go up the lift hill. Like I said, that was the former biggest in the UK. Stay tuned to know what my number 1 is. Any guesses? But yeah, now it's time for number 5. This was number 5, which was the big one. Now it's time for number 4. And now it's time for the 4th spot, which is Nemesis Reborn. And Nemesis Reborn is at Alton Towers. I'm really looking forward to go back there one day in the future again. I've been there before, and I've ridden Reborn probably 6 times, but only once I haven't been back to Reborn again. I'll put the soundtrack for you guys and I'll let you know all about it. So that was the 4th spot you just heard of the soundtrack of Nemesis Reborn. Nemesis Reborn is a really, really cool ride. It's like Nemesis, but reborn. And it's basically, obviously got Toxicated next door, but that's not a roller coaster. But we're talking about Nemesis Reborn, aren't we? So Nemesis Reborn is a really, really good coaster. It's very smooth, a little bit like Inferno, but smoother and better, like I said. But I really do like Nemesis Reborn soundtrack, and that's why it made my number 4 spot in my top 10 roller coaster. My top 10 roller coasters in the UK soundtracks list. Now it's time for my number 3rd spot. Now it's time for my 3rd spot. Don't Look Down. Yes, it's Oblivion at Alton Towers. So I'm going to put, like I said, again, I'm going to put a snippet in for you guys of Oblivion. I'll let you know why I really like that dive coaster. And soundtrack too. third spot, which was Oblivion at Alton Towers. It's a really, really good coaster. It's a dive coaster and it dives down into a tunnel. A really good soundtrack. Don't look down. That was my number third spot. Now it's time for my number second spot, which is Manual Mayhem. Now it's time for my number second spot on my top 10 roller coasters soundtracks in the UK list. And my number second spot is Manual Mayhem at Chessington Rail of Adventures. I'm going to play the soundtrack for you now, and I'm going to tell you all about why it's my favourite. Manual Mayhem is a B&M launch coaster. It's actually the first coaster to go upside down at Chessington. I really like the soundtrack. I really like the ride as well. Really good wing coaster. But I really do like the soundtrack, and that's why it's made my number second spot. Wow, it's almost time for my number one spot, but now it's time for a little joke first. Why don't roller coasters ever get lost? Because they always stay on track. Now it's time, drum roll please, for my number one spot, which is my number one soundtrack in my top 10 roller coasters soundtrack list, is going to be, starting countdown in 3, 2, 1. My number one spot is Hyperia. I really do like that. Mack Ride's Hypercoaster. I'm going to play the soundtrack right now for you guys, as it's my number one soundtrack and my number one coaster as well. But it's not about the number one coaster, it's the number one soundtrack. So I'm going to play that snippet for you guys now. I'll put a little longer snippet, like not as short as I did the others. I'm going to play a little bit more longer for you guys, as it's my number one. And yeah, so let's play the beauty itself, Hyperia. Find your fearless. We'll find out fearless when we listen to this soundtrack. Let's go. Like I said, it's now open now, Hyperia. So yeah, we're about to go on Hyperia. Let me know what my thoughts are when I come off the ride. As you can see, look at it go. It's a 60-minute wait, but we got fast passes, so it's not 60 minutes for us, it's 60 minutes for the other people who have to wait for 60 minutes. So let's go, Hyperia. was my top 10 roller coaster soundtracks in the UK list. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really do like people supporting my channel. If you guys have your own roller coaster soundtrack list, remember to drop your top 10 in the comments. Obviously this is my top 10 list, so it will be different to you guys, but I'd like to know what your guys' top 10 soundtracks in the UK for roller coasters are, so drop them in the comments below. Like I said, I really like people supporting my channel, and remember to like and subscribe, and remember, life is a roller coaster, so buckle up and enjoy the ride. I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys, living on Spectrum 17, signing out.